Hello, my friends. Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa Stringworks Man Cave. I'm glad to be here after all I went through yesterday. Oh my gosh, what a up again, down again, up again, down again, back and forth, getting pushed around by the establishment. Everything was just a mess yesterday. And if you were confused, just think how confused I was. I didn't, I had planned not to have a vlog yesterday. Well, then things changed, and then I was going to have a vlog, and then things changed again, and it stopped me from having a vlog. So let me try to explain this. Well, I ended up getting my root canal yesterday, but here's how it went. The good news was that I went to the dentist, and he saw me. The bad news was he said, I can't fix this. This is one of those things you need a specialist for. We only do, single root canals, not the larger teeth that have multiple roots or whatever. He says, so it takes a specialist for that. So the good news was I called the specialist and he said, I can see you in Rolla tomorrow, which would be today. And I said, well, that's great. But then the bad news was he called back later, his office, not him specifically, but his office called back later and says, oh, well, unfortunately, we're out of network in Rolla. So, he has several offices, apparently, this specialist guy moves around from one place to another. And he says, well, we're out of office on your insurance in Rolla. So if you want to drive to Jeff City, we're in network. And Jeff City's an hour and a half drive or a little bit more than that from here. So I said, well, no, I'd just soon get it over with, get it done. I said, well, that sounds okay. I could drive that far, but how, when could I get an appointment? Well, in Jeff City, we can't get you in until March 10th. So that was the bad news on that. So then I said, no, I guess I'm just going to go ahead and have it done in Rolla, on Thursday, which is today. And I'll just pay the extra. Well, then they called me back later and said, well, we found out that your extra is going to be like $600 or $700 more than if you have it done in Jeff City. And I said, well, I can't wait till March 10th, but I don't want to, spend that extra money if I don't have to. And then, so then they said, well, if you come, and I said, isn't there any way I could get in before then? I said, the complicating factor is they've got me on a fairly high dose of antibiotics and I'm having kind of a reaction to that. My ears are itching, in the past, whenever I get on real high dose antibiotics, not only do my ears start itching, but everything else starts itching. Then I break into hives. I said, so I can't stop I don't think I can take this medicine until the 10th. I said, that's going to be a problem. She says, so the good news was, well, if you drive up here today, we'll get you in today. So that's when I had to cancel the rescheduled vlog that I wasn't going to have. I had already said to everybody that I was going to have a vlog yesterday after all. And then I had to cancel it again because then I had to take off and drive straight up to Jeff City. Well, anyway, they got me in and they did it. And I don't think he was used to having anybody feel pain on this, but this one, and ordinarily, it didn't on, I guess he had to go in 3 places, and on the 2 places, it was fine. I didn't have any problem at all. But on one place that he went in, it was painful. It got real painful. And so when we were done, he took x-rays of that spot and everything. He says, I hate to tell you, but you're really going to have a sore jaw for the next couple of days. I'm fine. It's a little bit, but nothing real bad. It's not bad at all, especially compared to things I've been through in my life. This is like nothing. It's like maybe a 2 or a 1, if that, in terms of pain, by comparison to things that really hurt. Anyway, it's not that bad, and therefore we will go through with having our play along tonight, except that it'll be the full band this evening. And by the way, I'm not going to take any requests for this evening. Well, I mean, if you want to give them for me specifically, I don't mind that. But I'm not going to take any for the band for this evening because it's just too short a notice for one thing. And we might as well just play what we know instead of what we, try to learn for you guys. So anyway, tonight we're just going to do our own thing. So anyway, that's how yesterday went. It was just on again, off again, on again, off again, up and down, back and forth. Finally, but it did work out. I was really tickled that he saw me that quick, and got me in. And now I have to go back to my regular dentist to get a permanent crown put on that. But that won't be until, I think, March 26th or something. I mean, it's a long time from now. It's like, are you kidding me? But they gave me a temporary filling in there when they did what they did. So, okay, enough on the tooth thing. Did you see Itchy Boots' latest thing? I mean, the things that happened to her, they're the same things that happened to me. I'll break down up in the woods up there, and then almost instantly, as soon as I break down, 4 or 5 four-wheelers come from different directions, bringing me cinnamon buns. Did you see that? She breaks down out there in the middle of nowhere, and this first car that pulls up, is offering her water, and then they get out cinnamon buns and give her a whole bunch of cinnamon buns. That's the same stuff that happens to me. Every time I break down up in the woods, people just come from everywhere offering me food. And speaking of cinnamon buns and food, here's what I eat all day. In the morning for breakfast, at least at this present time for the last month or two, I just drink a cup of hot chocolate, and that's it. That's my breakfast. I actually do add a type of a laxative to that for myself because of the way I eat. But anyway, other than that, so that's how I get that laxative, is in that cup of hot chocolate. So that way I don't taste it, for one thing. And anyway, so that's all I eat for breakfast, is a cup of hot chocolate. That's it. And then for lunch, this is for the last week, this is all I've been eating for lunch. See that little tiny cup there? That little bitty cup. I mean, I can almost put my fingers all the way around it. Just level with nuts. I just eat nuts, like cashews and peanuts and walnuts. I just mix the 3 up there, and that's all I eat for lunch. So I eat nothing for breakfast, just that little bit for lunch. And then for supper, I eat just a small, a small portion, like like last night or whatever it was like some fried potatoes with some little tiny fried sausage pieces in there. That was it. Just a tiny, not even a full plate full, just a small portion. Like if you just made a round thing there and flattened it off, that's all I ate. That's all I've been eating for the last 3 or 4 or 5 days. All I ask you for that is, why aren't I losing any weight at all? It's like I just smell it and I gain weight or something. I'm losing a little bit, but it's so slow. And you'd think as much as I work and do and sweat and cut wood and all that, you'd think it'd just be falling off. It ain't falling off, I can tell you that. And the other side of that is, you might say, well, you must be hungry. I'm not hungry at all. I'm not even a little bit hungry. It's fine. I don't even feel like I'm sacrificing, to be honest with you. But you would think if that's all you eat, you'd lose some weight. I don't know. Just call it that Rosa thing's all I can tell you. All right, well, so I did get one big in the midst of all this mess, I did get the one big project done. Here's the first video on it. This is not the completion, but this just kind of sets the stage a little bit for the completed video. Here it is. Well, my friends, it was a tough fight, but I got this door repaired, installed, working again. Got everything aligned properly. I installed the new opener with the photo cells down there, and this is an automatic lock. And this is a battery backup right there. And then this is the machine, and it connects up to that rod. and it just spins that rod. It's an awesome opener. It's really quiet compared to most. It comes with a keypad here we've got installed on the outside. And of course, I've got my code already working in that. It comes with 2 remotes, and those are in the car in the truck, and they work. It's got this light. This light is an automatic motion sensor. So if anything walks through the garage, that light comes on. You can turn that part off, but I'll leave it on for now. But let me just show you how quiet it is. We just push the button here. All you hear is the door itself. And even that's fairly quiet. And then it automatically locked. Did you hear it lock? And that little button pushes through. Pretty cool setup. I'm really, really happy with it. I would recommend this kind of door opener if you have to change yours. It's really a good design. It gets rid of all that crud that's in the ceiling. See, I still have this bracket up here. I still have these wires. I'll get rid of that yet, but everything it's just clean. All you got is that one little section right there where you have stuff. Now, temporarily, I've run an extension cord. I plan to run an outlet up here in the ceiling, which will plug right into it, but right now I don't have that done. I have lots of things on my to-do list. I'll save that for a rainy day project. Well, I screwed up there. That was the ending video. I don't know what I did there, how I got that messed up, but I guess I'll just leave it at that because that was the project. It took me a long time to do all that because I had to repair that door. I had to repair the uprights, and it was just way bigger than normal. The scope creep was huge on that project. So, and that's the problem with my whole project list. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It doesn't get smaller, unfortunately. And in fact, I should have, I think I messed up again here. I don't think I got all my latest additions to my list here. In case I don't, I'll have it pulled up here in front of me on my phone. So anyway, I think during the last vlog, we mentioned that I needed to add the Purple Martin houses and all that to my to-do list. And those, by the way, did come since our last vlog. So I do have the houses now, and I do want to get those installed. Those are not necessarily the next thing I'll be doing, but I do need to get that done. I also need to change out one of the power steering cylinders on the Ford tractor. One of them is leaking, I have discovered, and so I do have an extra cylinder. I'm going to put that on, so I need to do that. That's another thing on my list. The Polaris Ranger, because everything else was going so well, the Polaris Ranger decides it now needs a new starter. The Polaris Ranger is also making an extra noise in the drivetrain. There you go. The Kawasaki, the new Kawasaki, the 2022 model, which has very few hours on it, is in the shop still and won't be back for a while. Thank goodness that the old 2009 Polaris Ranger has gotten us by until like yesterday when the starter went out. It just doesn't quit. It just doesn't quit. And then the other thing I forgot to put on the list is the Bobcat track idler pulley. I did mention that in a previous video, and that thing, as Sue was driving it the other day, I heard it rattling, and I went, oh, that's right, I got to put that idler pulley on that. And I do already have the idler pulley also. I mean, I have a lot to do, just tons. And let me see, is there anything else on here on this list? No, I think that's it. So anyway, so I'm adding all those things. I checked off one big one, but I'm adding all these other. It's unbelievable. And that's why I had to write it down, because it was all in my head and it was driving me crazy. Now that I have it written down, it's not quite so bad. I can get to it when I get to it. But I think for this afternoon, I think my, because we're going to be playing this evening, a lot of the afternoon is going to be taken up with getting all the mics ready and getting this whole thing set up to work, because that ain't a 5-minute deal. So a lot of my afternoon is going to be taken up with that. But before I even get to that, I'm going to go out and sharpen a bunch of chainsaw chains, because I got to get back up on that big oak tree above the house here, and I want to get all that cut up and done. So that's my next project. I'm going to finish that project because I've got it started, and I just want that done. Then I'm not sure what I'll do after that. But because there's so many things on the list, it's mostly just the squeakiest, loudest wheel. Probably it'll be back on the Polaris Ranger, because I can't do a whole lot of these other projects without the Ranger. I need ways to get around and carry tools to and from and back and forth, and it's just not easy being me. You'd think it would be by now. You'd think I'd figured out a way to make it easy, but it isn't, and I don't think it ever will be. Rod Wentler was first in here today, says, good morning, Jerry. Hang in there with the tooth pain. Really, I don't even have any real pain, considering, what I went through. I mean, it was quite an ordeal. That guy gave me more shots than I've ever had. I mean, generally, when you go in there, the dentist will give you, 2, maybe 3 shots, something like that. This guy gave me at least 7 or 8. I didn't count them, but there were 7 or 8 for sure. I mean, he changed needles 4 or 5 times. It was unbelievable. I've never had that many shots ever. And I don't like those shots either. The shots, I think, are the worst part of it for me. And I know they numb everything, but honestly, that's the thing that creeps me out the most, is the shot. The rest of it doesn't bother me much. Dottie Hillebrand says, praying for everybody. Thank you there, Dottie. Appreciate it. And the country and the whole bit. And boy, do we ever need it. Let's see. Moving on down. Moving on down. Here we go. Donald Matthews. Itchy boots, blonde hair, and blue eyes. Help again. Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's just pretty funny how... It's like, if you or I broke down out in the middle of that dang desert, how many hours it would be before we would see a single soul. She breaks down, and within 30 seconds, there's somebody coming with cinnamon buns. It's exactly how it works with me, too. It really is. Let's see. Dottie says, hit the like button. Thank you. Yeah, and do that if you would, please. David Tharp, howdy, y'all. By the way, before I go any further, because I didn't put it on my list, I got to do these while I remember them, otherwise I'll forget. I put a link in today's description, in the description of this video, to Colin Furr's video series. He has a whole series on tunneling and what it evolves into. And you might think, well, I don't care about tunneling. Well, this is tunneling like from one of his buildings, like his workshop. He tunnels underground and goes into another building. That's how it started. And I thought it was interesting to just watch it and see how he does it. And it's pretty cool the way he did it. But then he tunnels to more places and like to his house. And he doesn't stop there. It's unbelievable what it has evolved into. So I would recommend that you watch it and watch it from the beginning and just do a binge watch. It's going to take you a while because he's got a lot of videos on it. And just see where it goes, because it is cool. It's really cool. Now, those of you who can't wait, you'll jump ahead and see where it went. But I would just suggest that you just watch it from the beginning. I started watching him a long time ago, and so I've watched it from the beginning. And I'm at the current, video now where he's at now. Like I said, what it's evolved into is pretty cool. It's really cool. Well, anyway, so that link is in the description. Check it out if you're interested. David Tharp, howdy, y'all. We must all do our part for the planet. The other day, I unplugged a row of electric cars nobody was using. Very good, Dave. Good job. Good job. If you were here, I'd pat you on the back. Bill Rhodes, Jerry, I didn't get to hear you yesterday. Did you ever play at Roy Queen's Bluegrass Festivals? No, I never did. In fact, I don't think I ever actually met Roy Queens. I just knew about him from my uncle and hearing him talk and different things. I don't think I ever actually met him. If I did, I don't remember it. Probably did, just don't remember it. Let's see. Bill Rhodes, I remember your Uncle Don being at one of them. Yep, I'm sure he was. I don't even remember him having festivals. So I was pretty little when I remember Don talking about Roy Queen. I mean, so I never did really know him or anything about him. Bill Rhodes says, I believe back in the 70s, he was part of the Missouri Bluegrass Festival Association. He might have been. That was just before I got into it. I got into it in about 81 or somewhere in there, 83, I think, is when I got into the Missouri Bluegrass Association. So he wasn't in there involved in it at that time. And it wasn't too long after I got into it. Well, I shouldn't say that. It was probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, maybe even 10 years after I got involved in the association. Then they elected me chairman of the association after a certain amount of time. And then I know he wasn't involved in it during my time in there. Kim Williford, sorry. She's saying, moving on down, looking for the question marks. Gino Hitch. Hello, Jerry and friends. Another beautiful day here in Monroe, Ohio. How about an update on shingles and firewood in Kawasaki? Well, Gino, you keep asking that question, but that ain't going to happen until you'll hear me tell you about it when it happens. I'm not going to do it in private or secret. I got so many projects. It's just going to happen when it happens. Unfortunately, there's no update. Now, the firewood, I guess you could say that I started cutting up this big tree up here, but that's the only thing I've started. And the Kawasaki is still at the place. They did call me yesterday while I was at the dentist, in fact, and they said that on the Kawasaki that the throttle cable would cost me $600 to replace the throttle cable. It's mostly the labor because it's a 5 or 6 hour job or something like that. It would cost me $600 to replace it. I said, forget it. I mean, it's just so sad. It's just so sad. I can't even tell you. Even just the dentist. I mean, I go in there. He knew which tooth it was. He knew before I ever went in there that he wasn't going to do it because he knows that tooth has multiple roots and he doesn't do multiple root canals. He only does the single root canals or whatever. So he knew that ahead of time. However, I still had to go in there. He still had to look at it and charge me $93. It's our whole system is so screwed up. All he should have done was said, no, that's a tooth I don't work on. You'll just need to go up there to, such and so. He could have done that on the phone, but no, he had to charge $93 to tell me that. It's pitiful. It's just pitiful. Plus, wasted all my time and his time. I mean, of course, for him, it wasn't a waste. He made $93 for nothing. For about, I don't know, a minute's worth of time. Something like that. Dottie Hillebrandt, B.A. Tringer, how's your arm? Oh, sorry. I just saw the question mark there. Kim says, I got off on the wrong line, I guess. Again, that's that reading thing. He says, hi, Jerry. Yes, I second the requested song, Help is on the Way. Oh, okay. Help is on the way. Well, I'll try to throw that in tonight. I'll just try to remember it. I write it down there just in case. That maybe help me remember. Moving on down. Let's see. Gary Cooper says, hello, y'all, from deep central Texas. Moving on down. After we went live, looks like Kim Williford was first in there. And David Tharp says, our local taxidermist is really good. He can stuff about anything. Yesterday, I took him out for lunch. He stuffed his face. Well, if you're paying, I'll stuff mine. Let's see. Steve Mays, I hate it when people act all intellectual and talk about Mozart when they've never even seen one of his paintings. Yeah, me too. It's just putting on airs is all it is. Gary Cooper, glad you made through yesterday. That's all ran together there. Made that fun to read. But see, I can read that just about as easy as I can read the rest of it, so it doesn't really matter. You could even write it backwards, and I think I could read it just as fast. Not to see that I read it fast. It's just that I can read it as fast as if it was written the right way. It doesn't really make much difference. I just can't read. Eric, light travels faster than sound. That's why some people appear bright before they open their mouth. Yeah, that's that. I love that old saying that was attributed to Abraham Lincoln. Whether he said it or not, I don't know. It says it's better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. Gary Hayes, Jerry, do my favorite From Where I Stand tonight, please. From Where I Stand. I'll write that one down too. Okay. Let's see. David Tharp. Jerry, haven't you ever heard you are what you eat? So what does that tell you about your lunch? Yeah, I'm nuts. Well, I knew that all along. But, David, you eat vegetables, so what does it tell you about you? You're a vegetable. Let's see. Bill Mumbo. Jerry, I can't drive past a bakery without putting on 5 pounds. Boy, that's the way I feel. I as much as I do and as little as I eat, you just wouldn't, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah, let's see here. I've lost it scrolled on me. I'm just fighting to find it. Here it is. Dottie Hildebrandt, Jerry, just eat only meat and eggs. You'll lose weight. Well, honestly, believe it or not, Dottie, that's kind of what it's been. I'll eat the potatoes and meat one night, and then like the next night, Sue will make me like a burger, just the meat, no bread, just a burger with cheese and egg on it. And I mean, that's it. That's all I eat, you know. And, trust me, it's just nuts. Gary Cooper, did you eat that door opener from Temu? Did you get that door opener from Temu? No. That door opener is a Mastercraft brand. That's the store brand of Menards. Now, if you have a Menards near you, you probably are familiar with the Mastercraft brand, but only if you have. That's just their store brand, and they have it on tools and all kinds of things. And ordinarily, I'd be leery about buying it because of it being a store brand. Typically, the store brands are made by some name brand company anyway, kind of like the old Sears Craftsman stuff, you know. But anyway, I have used quite a few different Mastercraft products from Menards, and including like an angle grinder and I don't know, I can't remember the other things, but several things. And all of them have been just fine. I've been real happy with every one of them. So I took a chance on that opener because it was cheaper, like, I don't know, about almost $100 cheaper than the quote-unquote name brand one. And and that wouldn't have been the only deciding factor. It's just that I read on the box too, and it seemed like this one had as many features, if not more features, than the name brand one. So that's why I bought it. And, time will tell, was that a good decision or not? Can't really say, but I really like that style opener. I mean, honestly, if I were anybody, I'm just giving you my recommendation just based on what little bit of time I've had, which is less than 24 hours with this thing. I would recommend it highly because of the installation is so much different and so much I think, improved. To me, it's a much better design. I mean, having that stupid thing up in the ceiling with either a chain drive or a belt drive or something, that's all a whole different mechanism. That's just more stuff to go wrong. Well, this is just a motor attached to the dang rod. That's pretty much it. It goes up and it goes down, and that's all there is to it. That's the only moving parts. That's really cool. So that's why I like it. But anyway, it was a Mastercraft brand from Menards. So I can't say that brand's any better than any other one because I have no idea. But I like the design, that style opener, the best by far, like hands down. Scott Roberts, are you going to wire that door in like Bob would? It would be faster. Yeah, you're right. If I just took a couple of wires and stuck them up there like that and put some tape around them, we'd have it done in no time. Boy, that's the truth. Well, see, that garage, by the way, that low ceiling, I mean, I don't know you'll see it in the actual video. I did video all that, and I'm going to try to put that video out this weekend. Although it's a lot of clips, it'd be a lot of editing. I'll try to shorten it down to an hour or less. But anyway, one of the complicating factors, it wouldn't matter what you're installing, whether it's this style or another style. In fact, this style is easier to install. The ceiling height on that garage is so low. Above the door, it's only a few inches above the door compared to most. You would have an extra foot almost. It's really a low ceiling garage. And so that overhead deal was really low in that garage. So anyway, the point is that that was another Bob thing. He built that garage on. I know that for sure. Yeah. I mean, what was weird is woodworking was probably one of his best suits. He could do woodworking pretty well. Like I said, he built some pretty decent cabinets. The garage itself isn't that bad. It's just that he did the stupid Bob thing and made the ceiling about a foot lower than it should have been. Just typical moron move on his part. Just absolute moron. Anyway, let's see. Moving on. I think I've lost my place again. Sidecar Bob says, I learned from a dietitian that you need to eat within an hour of getting up to make your metabolism start working. I lost 60 pounds under a year. You need to eat within an hour of getting up. Okay. That's better than not eating at all. To get your metabolism work. Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. I don't know. I might try switching it around. Maybe eat a big breakfast and not eat anything else the rest of the day. Do it that way. I don't know. Kim Williford, nice automatic garage door opener. I love it. I heard the door closing. That's all I heard. Yeah, it's really very quiet. It's noticeably different than the other one. Like the motor will hum right when it first starts, and then it doesn't hum at all until it just about to close, and then it hums again. You'll hear the motor twice, but it's not that loud. But in between the two hums, you don't even hear anything. Just the door itself. That's it. Let's see. GNP Old Marine Shop says, hi, Jerry. Can you get that door opener if you don't have the style like yours and have the old style with no turning shafts? Do they make them for those old styles without the shaft? Well, I'm not sure which style you're talking about. Are you talking about, like, I've seen some of those garages where the whole door swings up and, something like that. It wouldn't work on that, I don't think. I'm not really sure what other style would have. The ones with the two springs coming down the long length like that on both sides. I've seen that too. I used to have one of those that had springs on both sides. It wouldn't work on that either, I don't think. It pretty much has to have the shaft. It has to have that center coil spring, as far as at least that's my best guess. I don't think it would work on anything else. But I really do like the design. You know me, if you've been following me for any length of time, you know I harp on design. Design, design, design. There's no excuse for a poor design. I don't care what you're talking about. I don't care if you're talking about, a rocket ship or you're talking about, a toothbrush. There's no room for a poor design, period, on anything. By the time it hits the market, the design should be fixed. Well, there you go. They fixed that design. That's a cool design. I can't imagine finding a way to make it better, really, in terms of the design. You can always make something better by refining little components here and there, but the design is the best design I've ever seen for a garage door opener. Let's see. Hugh O'Connor, you may need to add that old radio to list. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I really would. I do need to put it on there because I do want to get that fixed. I really do. But gee whiz, it's so far down the list, unfortunately. But yeah, you're right. I think I'll put it on there just so I've got it on there and I don't forget it. I'll add that. I wish I had that done. I really do. And there's another one, too. There's an old Singer foot pedal sewing machine that belonged to my great-grandmother in there. Sue's got plants sitting on it, basically. It's a plant stand. I want to restore that, too. I'm going to put it on there just so I have it on there. But it's just almost comical, really, how long the list is. It's so big, it's ridiculous. When I get it organized better, I'm going to try to put it online so you can actually see it, and I'll put hopefully check boxes and stuff that you can actually see that we're actually making progress. Oh my gosh, it's pitiful. Let's see. Bill Mumbo, Jerry, have you tried roasted chickpeas? Very nutritious and protein. Well, no, I haven't. But if it's got chlorophyll in it, that ain't going to happen. So I don't know if chickpeas have that or not. But they probably, if they're vegetables, I don't eat any vegetables, seriously. Just don't eat any. Zero, none, not any. People find that hard to believe. But it's the truth. Nothing. Zero, none. It's just hard for most people to fathom that. Dottie Hillebrandt, nice job on the garage door. Thank you, Dottie. Again, it was the old scope creep. That was a big project. That wasn't just putting in a garage door opener. If it had just been that, I'd have been done in less than a day for sure. But that took me a full 2 days, maybe 2.5 days to do all that. David Tharp, when I was 10 years old, I really wanted to play the guitar badly. But the way it's worded, I already know where we're going here. After 66 years of practice, I've got my wish. I play the guitar badly. I knew you were going there. Yeah, I wish I played it as bad as you do. You do a very good job. Let's see. Rod Wentler, thumbs up, gang. Yeah, please do that. It does help my money, honestly, just because it gets the videos seen by more people, the more thumbs up there are, the more on a percentage basis the YouTube algorithm says, well, this must be pretty good. Let's send this out, that kind of thing. So not only on the vlogs, but on my regular videos, when I do put them out, be sure to thumbs them up. Just please help me out. Scott Roberts, I had an abscessed tooth once that had to be pulled, and I counted at least 11 shots on that one. Wow. There may have been more before I started counting. Gee whiz, I've never had that many. I mean, seriously, usually I think I remember 3 shots, something like that, on average, maybe 4, but this was at least double that. It really was. Dottie Hillebrandt, I really have phobia of needles and dentists. Yeah, It doesn't really honestly bother me. I mean, I do tense up when I know that needle's going in. I tense up on that. But honestly, after that, I'm pretty much fine. I'll tell you where I have my biggest problem in the dentist office is breathing, because 90% of my breathing is through my mouth. I do very little through my nose. My nose is always clogged. I've just always had allergies, and I've always have tough time breathing through my nose. Since I started taking that Flonase and stuff, that helps, but it's still, as you can probably tell, it's a struggle to pull air through my nose. It's always been that way. Scott Roberts, and the dentist actually straddled me on the chair to get more pull on the tooth. Thought I was a candid camera. Wow, that's crazy. Well, I've told this several times on the channel already, but I had, I forget now which side it's on, but one of my back teeth, it's on this side, on the upper, the very farthest back tooth, not the wisdom teeth, because those were removed a long time ago, but the farthest back tooth on this side, on the upper. I went to the dentist. He says, you got to go to a specialist. So I went to a specialist. And I know you're going to think, oh, he's exaggerating or something. I'm not. I'm telling you, this is the way it happened. He came in and he did his shot thing, and he first swabbed it down with something, and then he did the shot thing, and that was all fine, the normal stuff. Then he comes back, 15 minutes later or whatever it was, and he's in there monkeying around for just a second or two, and I mean, like literally a second or two, just literally that short. And then he comes out and he says, well, that takes care of that. I go, well, I thought you were going to pull it. He goes, I did. He holds it up. I'm going, huh? I mean, I didn't even know he pulled it. I swear I didn't. I didn't even feel it. I did nothing. And he goes, well, that's why you go to a specialist. I went, holy mackerel. I'm serious. I do not know when he pulled it. He just reached in there, and he was only in there for a couple seconds. I thought he was just feeling around. Came out with the tooth. I'm seriously telling you, it was unbelievable. It truly was. I was there, and I didn't believe it. Let's see. Zappa. Jerry, no link to the tunneler in description. It's Colin Furs. Well, I put it there. Maybe I didn't save it. Let me look and see real quick. Oh, you're right. It didn't save it. Let me see here. I'm typing it in right as we speak, and maybe it's still in my... Yeah, I pasted it in there. Save. Okay, I just saved it again. Hopefully it's there this time. I just did it again on screen right there and saved it again. So hopefully it's there now. Sorry about that. Don't know why that didn't save. I know I did it. But thanks for reminding me or telling me. BH Ringer, tunnel link not there. Yeah, okay. Well, I think it's there now. Check it again if you would. You might have to refresh your screen now. In fact, that might have, well, I don't know. It wasn't there on mine either. So I don't know. But you might have to refresh your screen on that screen. Let's see. Joe, I was charged $200 for inspection and x-rays. Yeah, it's nuts. It's a gimmick, man. It's just money. That's all it is. It's just money. That's all they care about. They don't give a rip about nothing else. They don't have the decency to just say, well, that's something I can't do. You're going to need to go here and just without charging you. You know, they just can't do it. They have no sense of doing the right thing at all. None of them do. Nobody does anymore. I mean, like, I just don't run into the people that are that way anymore. That's just me. SSD Blig says, when your dentist puts the crown on, tell him to hide glue. No hide glue allowed. Yeah, I'll definitely make sure he doesn't use hide glue. But then again, I don't want Tide Bond either because it comes loose in water. Wavy gravy. A lady goes to the dentist. He says, I'll need to pull your bad tooth. She says, that will be more painful than having a baby. The dentist says, make up your mind. I have to adjust the chair. Let's see. Bill Mumbo. Trouble is, I get up 4 times a night and put on weight. Yeah. No, I don't eat during the middle of the night, at least not consciously. If I'm walking in my sleep, maybe. I don't know. B. Schringer says, copy and paste tunnel link in the chat, please. Well, I can't. I don't. Well, maybe I can get to the chat a different way, but I don't have that chat thing available here. I'm just going to, well, I'll type it. Colin Furs, and then yeah, okay, I did that. So there it is. I put it in the chat. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with that, but I saved it twice. I know I did. It usually works. My computer's probably in some mode or something, that I'm not aware of, and it probably just isn't letting me do it. Let's see. Chickpeas are legumes like peanuts. Okay, well, they might be okay. Let's see. I see that there. I think I've lost my place, though. Yeah, I've lost my place. Yeah, let's see. Okay. All right, so I did. All right, B.H. Ringer was the one that told me that, so I'm after that. G&P Old Marine Shop says, can you convert? I have the 2 springs and tracks. Well, I'm sure you could. But what that would take... I don't know if, you'd almost have to, you'd have to go to a garage door company, I think, to get the parts to convert it. But I think you could do it. I don't think there'd be any reason why you couldn't convert it. So, I don't know. I've never done that. I've actually worked on the garage doors that have the 2 springs on the sides, and I've worked on, of course, on a lot of garage doors that have the coil spring across the front. But I've never converted one to the other. So, although I have taken one out and installed the other, I've done that. Let's see. Sidecar Bob, Mastercraft has been Canadian. Their Tires House brand for as long as I can remember, going back to at least the 60s. I have no idea whether Menards has any relationship with Canadian Tire. I don't think so. I've actually heard of other things in the States called Mastercraft before. To be honest, I wasn't very impressed with those. But this Mastercraft that's at Menards, I've been happy with. So when I saw it at Menards, I first shied away from it because I have used some Mastercraft stuff in the States, I don't know, some tools, and they were definitely subpar. But the stuff I've been getting at Menards called Mastercraft, it's just fine. I don't have any problem with it at all so far. Now, I might with this. You never know. G&P Old Marine Shop, you're right about dentists. Their defense is their college and training fees. Yeah, I get it. But you also do know, certainly do know that dentists make more money than all the other doctors. I mean, they make a lot of money. Dentists make a huge amount of money. So if you're going to go into the medical field, dentistry is probably the one to go into. Dottie Hildebrandt, no potatoes. Okay. Bill Mumbo, chickpeas are legumes. Okay, that's the one I did read earlier. Let's see. Moving on down. Rod Wentler, Jerry, talking about genetics differences. I was a redhead in my youth, and red hair people require about 20% more anesthesia. Yeah, that's true. I've heard that redheads do need more anesthetic than your average person. They also apparently have a higher tolerance of pain, I've heard. There's a couple other differences too. Of course, they're not as good in the sun, though. You got to stay out of the sun more if you got red hair, generally speaking. Bill Mumbo, next time I go to the dentist, I'm having wisdom teeth put in. I had mine taken out, and that's what. There you go. You can rest your case. Now you know what's wrong. David Tharp, I'll bet you have a time with the taste of some of that stuff the dentist puts in your mouth. Yeah, some of it is a little bit weird, but most of those kinds of tastes, most of them are minty or something like that, and that's not too bad. I don't know. There's been some things, though, that pretty strong that they put in my mouth. In fact, he was doing some kind of a cold sensation test on my teeth, that the specialist was yesterday. And when he was doing that, I was tasting something. And that's, I think, just some real cold thing that they're putting on your tooth. But I was tasting something. I don't know what it was. And it was kind of weird tasting, too. I don't know. But all he was asking was, is that cold, or can you feel the cold on that? And actually, on some of them, I couldn't feel it, and on others, I could. Steve Mays, maybe the next play along, do you know I call it home? I call it home. Yeah, I can do that one. I call it home. I'll try to remember. I'll try to write these down. Let's see. Now, I should have wrote down who's been asking for these. I'm not going to worry about that, and you'll just know it's from you. And sorry, but because I didn't write the other ones down either. Yeah, I don't know. It's just I should have written it down, but I since I didn't write the other ones down, I'm just going to pass on that. BH Ringer, link is here now. Thank you. Okay, good. Okay, after the refresh, it was there for the Collins first. Okay, all right. Moving on down. Tunneling is on my screen. Okay. Refresh did it. Okay, that was it. All right. Yeah, if you were already in there before I put it out, which I didn't put it out till the very last second, so yeah, you wouldn't see it unless you refresh. But then again, I didn't see it on my screen either. So I don't know. Maybe it's because I didn't refresh, I guess. I don't know. Just, there you go. Moving on down here. Sidecar Bob, the link is in. Okay, yeah, okay. Okay, Kim says there is no link, but I think, again, it's probably the refresh thing, Kim, probably. But I did put it in the comments right above there, so it's at least in the video now for sure. Scott Roberts, Rod Wintler, I have always had a problem getting enough anesthetic to numb my teeth. Not a redhead, but have two siblings who are. Does that count? I'll be darned. I don't have any real problem with it. Ordinarily, when they give me the anesthetic, that's another one of those drugs that seems to work for me. It seems to work great, Novocaine, But yesterday, when he got into that one spot, that did hurt quite a bit. It hurt pretty bad. But other than that one spot, it was fine. I didn't really have any problem. And I don't really mind the dentist. I really don't. The hardest thing for me is breathing. After the shots, I don't like the shots, but the hardest thing after the shots is the breathing thing, because they usually either fill your mouth. Well, this guy actually had a thing that went over your mouth, covered your mouth, and I had to tell him, I said, you can't cover my mouth. And so they had to leave part of it open on the side so I could breathe. Sidecar Bob, I am munching on roasted chickpeas while I watch. Okay. I thought you were going to say roasted chicken. Now, I was going to get upset with that because I do like roasted chicken. David Tharp, I found this great place online to order sausage. I'll send you a link. Okay. I don't eat a lot of sausage, to be honest with you. I'm kind of picky about it because most of it has too many spices and things in it. I don't like that. It's pretty much everything has to be fairly bland for me to like it. So if you're talking about sending some kind of spicy sausage, it won't do a lot of good. I'm exceptionally picky. When it comes to food, I always just tell people, don't worry about it. Just do whatever you like, and I'll figure it out. Just because most of the time, I don't like it. That's just the truth. Ronald Todd, it's a different style opener for the two-spring style garage door overhead. Okay. Wavy Gravy. Yeah, I mean, I know it is normally, but he's asking if he could convert it to this style. And I think you could do that. I think you could convert it. I don't see any reason why you couldn't. But it's a big conversion. It's not a simple thing. It might just be as easy just to buy a whole new garage door, you know. Wavy Gravy. My dentist said you need 2 root canals. They'll be expensive, but you can pay for them for $500 a month for 36 months. I said, wow, those sound like car payments. And he said, they are. Yeah, for him, his car payments. Yeah, I don't know. It's the whole system. I shouldn't pick on dentists because the whole system is messed up. The whole system. I don't care what you're doing. It's just messed up. When a stupid pill costs hundreds of dollars for a stupid pill, and you can be the guy that stands up for those drug companies and go, but look at all their research and development and this and that and this and that and this and that. Kiss my rear. That's all I got to say about that. Because, yeah, I agree, it costs a lot of money up front, but they make billions off of this stuff. And especially once they start charging $100 or more per pill, and they've got millions of customers out there, they don't feel sorry for them. Trust me, they're making their money. Just like the thing I've always said about the government. You know, how we waste so much money. If we just quit wasting it, literally quit wasting it, that would solve all the problems. That's what Musk is doing. He's finding that waste, and he's finding the crap. You know, like everybody got all upset about him sending out that memo, like, just respond with 5 things you did. He said, even if you just respond with, my stuff is top secret, I can't tell you, he'd say that would be fine enough. He's just trying to find out, is there really somebody sitting in a chair collecting that check, or is that check going to some widow or somebody else that shouldn't be getting a check? I mean, widow's a bad example probably, but you know what I'm saying. Is that just going to some residence where somebody's taking that money and cashing it? And they're finding millions of examples. They're just finding examples everywhere on all kinds of stuff. And I knew they would. That's just a black and white given. That government is so deep in bureaucracy that if you don't think that that's happening, you are super, super, super naive. It's all over the place. And that I am so thankful they're looking into all that wasting crap, because that's where all the money's gone. And then on top of that, it's not just waste. It is fraud. There's people taking that money under the tables, and you can bet on that one. Again, you're naive if you don't think so. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, it's just money. It's just in the whole world is screwed up with money. It's all greed. I've said it from beginning. If you could just get rid of the stinking greed in this world, everything would be fixed. Everything would be fixed. That would stop all the wars. That would stop everything. Everything would be perfect if you could just get rid of greed. Nothing else. Just greed. It'd fix everything. And believe what you want, but that's just, if you stop and think about it, you'll see that the root of everything is greed. Everything. Dennis Clark, if you have a seized tooth, I don't know what that word is. You don't care how munitions hurt, you just want it out. How much it hurts, I guess. You just want it out. Yeah, truly, yeah, when you got a bad tooth, you want them out, that's for sure, because they hurt. But me, I don't mind the fillings and all that. Some people they just don't even want to mess with that. They just want to pull it. Just pull it. I knew, Jimmy Allison was that way. A friend of mine that I did a little tribute to when he passed away. That's what he always said. He says, I won't sit in the chair and let them do a filling. They just pull it. That's it. Just pull it. I'm not quite that bad. It doesn't bother me too much, really. Charles Wass, hi Jerry and friends. Have you given any thought to putting a new top on your black guitar? No, that's not even going to make the list, honestly. That guitar is what it is. If I end up getting through my list and I can't think of anything to do, I'd probably put a new top on that guitar. But trust me, it's a long way down the list. Dottie Hildebrand, I like the gas instead of the shots. Well, I've never had that, at least at the doc. Well, I take that back. When they pulled my wisdom teeth, they gave me the gas. You're right. They did do that. And that messed me up so bad. I've told that before several times, but I was so screwed up in the head after they gave me that gas. I didn't know which end was up, man. I was totally out of it. Steve Mays, can't go wrong with bacon. I agree with that. I could eat bacon all 3 meals, 7 days a week. It wouldn't bother me at all to eat bacon like that. I love bacon. Belmumbo, sausages are known as links, Jerry. Well, I've definitely, some are and some aren't. Some aren't links. But yeah, you can have sausage links, or you can just have other kinds of sausage. Let's see, Kim Williford, Jerry, do you remember the joke about wisdom teeth? They are pretty smart. You get them taken out, you might lose some smarts. Yep, that's what I told you. That's my problem. That's what's wrong with me. They were all removed. Scott Roberts, I had an eye drop prescription for a month before cataract surgery that was over $800. It ran out in 20 days, twice. Just, again, pathetic. Pathetic. It's the people that do that and charge that, they should be so damned ashamed. I mean, I'm sorry, but that is just inexcusable. It's inexcusable. To charge hundreds of dollars for one stinking pill is inexcusable. I don't care. You can make all excuses all day long and tell me how much they spend on this research and this development and all that, and it's still bull crap. That's what it is. It's just not right. Because they make billions and billions off of that stuff. Do you know how many millions it takes to make 1 billion? It takes 1,000 piles of $1 million to make a billion. And they make billions. Trust me. I don't feel sorry for them. Not that much. Not even that much. That's why and that's, I don't condone shooting these people. I don't condone that. But that's why that leader of that particular company got shot, is because of the dang greed. It's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Get rid of the greed, you've fixed everything in this world. You'd fix 99.9% of every problem we have in this world if you just get rid of the greed. Because it will all filter back out to everything else. Let's see. Ronald Todd, thanks you, Mr. President. Okay. Scott Roberts, Steve Mays, and You Can't Hurt Ham. You Can't Hurt Ham. That was a Bill Monroe song. Well, actually, it wasn't written by Bill Monroe, I don't think. Who wrote it? Was it Ricky Skaggs or somebody? I don't know. Somebody did that song. They wrote it because Bill Monroe said that. It was an old ham that had been hanging for whatever. And Bill says, "Oh, give me a piece of that. You can't hurt ham," And so somebody wrote that song called You Can't Hurt Ham. Ronald Todd, Jerry, would you sell the black guitar as is? I don't know. It ain't worth selling, honestly. I mean, it's got a good sound if it had a good top. But no, I don't think so. It's just because it's junk. I wouldn't sell it. Zappa, let's see this. Jerry, you had the wrong gas. What you want is nitrous oxide, no lasting effects. Well, I'm fairly sure that's what they gave me. I'm 99% sure that's what they gave me, was nitrous oxide. But man, it messed me up big time. I'm telling you, I'm not lying to you. You can believe what you want. My system is completely different than the average. I mean, everything's messed up. Everything. I mean, from my blood type to my color blindness to my night vision to my reaction to drugs to these weird size hands to these super, super strong legs that I have compared to your average to the giant lungs that I have compared to the average. Everything about me is screwed up. It's not bad screwed up. It's just screwed up. It's just completely different. And so like having a reaction to the nitrous oxide that 99% of the people wouldn't have, I have it. It's just weird. I mean, I'm telling you, my system is different. Everybody thinks they're unique, and everybody is unique. But mine's weird different. It's just weird different. I can't even tell you how weird it is. And with the taste thing too is another one. Just messed up. Scott Roberts thought that was Bob Rant there for a minute. Garland Edmondson, let's see, okay. David Thorpe's point was he will send you a link. Oh, there you go. Ha, ha, ha. All right, David, I missed your point about your sausage, your link. Okay, gotcha. I told you oh, never mind. I can't make excuses for being stupid. Most dentists don't use Novocaine. Well, I don't know what they use, but whatever they shoot in there, it used to be Novocaine. I don't know what they use now, but that stuff works. That does work. I mean, there are certain drugs that work just like they should for me. Antibiotics are one of them. Except that if I get on a fairly high dose antibiotic, I break out into hives and break out into, rashes and stuff. So the dose has to stay fairly low for me. Sidecar Bob, nitrous makes you run faster and have more power. Oh, wait, that's an engine. Yeah, they do squirt that into dragsters and different race cars and things to make them go faster. Guys, I'm going to let that be it. I'm going to go out and sharpen some chainsaw chains to get ready for tomorrow. And then after I sharpen those, then I'm going to get back in here and get these mics all set up for this evening. I'll try to be sure to do those requests that you ask for my part of it. And we'll have a good show this evening. So come back at 7 o'clock. We'll see you then. Thank you. Let's see. I clicked on that. It didn't go. One popped in there that says, dang, Jerry, you're like a 6-foot dwarf. Scott Roberts, you can put me in jail, but you can't keep my face from breaking out. We'll see you.